So this bike right here, it's the brand new Summit 2 from Velotric. Let's go ahead and let's dive into this hybrid style e-bike. Coming from primarily a mountain biking background, I really appreciate the Summit 2 and everything that it has to offer. I love the mountain bike style look. It just feels really comfortable and fits me personally, and the power of the rear hub motor. This rear hub motor has 100 Newton meters of torque, and I can tell you out on my test drive, that is the first thing that I noticed because this bike picks up and it just goes. This bike is definitely quick, hits those 28-mile-an-hour speeds that you would want out of your Class 3. You're getting this awesome air suspension in it, and I love how fast this thing gets up and goes. Wow. But one of the major updates on this bike is the fact that this actually comes with an air fork. Whenever I reviewed the Summit 1, that was one of the things that I wish that it had. Well, Velotric delivered, and they actually put a nice air fork on here. This is the RST Vibe air suspension. You're gonna get a nice plush ride that you can dial in to your rider weight. So that way you can dial in your suspension to make the ride super smooth, whether you're on city streets or gravel or dirt roads. Now the Summit 2 comes in two different sizes, a regular size and a large size. If you're like me, around 5'11", you're gonna wanna pick up a large size. And not only can you get this bike in two different sizes, you can pick from 3 different colors this year. Now let's just go over a few things on this bike that make this bike really stand out and appealing to somebody like me who comes from a mountain biking background. Number one is the way the handlebars are set up. The cockpit up here is set up more traditionally like a mountain bike style bike, with a slightly uprise bar that's gonna be more of a flat design. You're getting some nice ergonomic lock-on grips. Really key is the Shimano hydraulic brakes this year. You're getting some nice MT201 brakes with 180 mil rotors, both front and back, and 2-piston Shimano hydraulic calipers. These brakes are definitely set up for any kind of condition to be able to stop this bike. Huge fan of these particular brakes. I've used them on several bikes that I've had over the years, and they're always tried and true and definitely stop on a dime. And we're gonna come up to this point and we're gonna just slam on them. Dude. Yes, Shimano brakes. This thing is so awesome. Not only that, with it being mineral oil, any bike shop can actually work on these with no problems whatsoever. And also you can pick up brake pads for this bike at any bike shop. So if you ever need to have any maintenance done on these brakes, no worries. Anybody can pretty much work on them. And also, I wanna mention, Velotric has over 1,200 stores where you can actually go and look at this bike, and they can actually service these bikes. So if you're in the United States and you're worried about buying a bike online, well, don't worry. You probably have a Velotric store near where you live. But looking further over on this, you do get a thumb throttle. So this bike can actually be set up to be a Class 1, a Class 2, or a Class 3 e-bike. And if you're in an area that's not restricted, you can actually get this throttle to go upwards of 28 miles an hour. And this throttle, we're gonna see how quick it gets going. 28 miles an hour, 28.5. So there we go. The throttle got us up to 28.5. Now, you'll need to make sure that you set that up in the app because this bike can be either a Class 1, 2, or a Class 3. Now, looking next to the thumb throttle, you do get this new style of screen, and I absolutely love this because it's compact, but yet it's extremely functional. Fully color display allows you to do everything that you could do on any of the other Velotric bikes, but in a nice compact design that isn't taking away from the overall ride whenever you're out on the road. Now, built into the screen on the very bottom is a USB-C port, so if you need to charge your phone or anything like that, you can do that on this bike. You can also switch between your torque sensor and your cadence sensor on the fly by holding down the M button whenever you're out on the road. And also on this control pad, you can turn on your turn signals and you can turn on the headlight and put this into walk mode. Now, one of the parts that I appreciate with Velotric is you either can use the app or you can use the screen to pretty much adjust everything that's available on this bike. So if you don't want to use the app, you can simply go into the menu system on here and pretty much dial this bike in. But if you want real fine details, you're definitely going to want to check out the Velotric app. Now, looking a little bit further over, they did integrate an adjustable stem. What's really nice about the stem is it's the new shorter Velotric stem, which fits this style of bike a lot better than a longer stem. But still, you get the adjustability. So if you're a taller rider, you can raise this up, or if you want a more aggressive ride, you can lower it down. But looking in front of the stem, there is this upgraded 500 lumen IPX6 certified light. This is brand new to the Velotric lines this year. We've seen this on a couple of other new bikes that they came out with. This is a super bright headlight, one of the best in the industry that comes pre-installed on an e-bike. I really appreciate that Velotric's upgraded the headlights on most of their bikes, especially the Summit 2, because being able to see and be seen at night is extremely important. Looking a little bit further over, they went big and they went with the Shimano Q's shifter on this. You're getting 9 speeds and you're getting a trigger shifter, and this is going to lead down to the Q's rear derailleur. This is going to give you a high quality shifting experience. And this is some of the newest shifting from Shimano. And what's really nice is you get a really high quality rear derailleur shifter, but you get a really wide range cassette. So if you have to pedal this bike without the motor going, you can still do that. With this super large gear in the back, you can pretty much climb up any hills. Now, let's talk about this air suspension, the Air 3 RTS. This thing is absolutely buttery smooth. Being able to adjust this and dial it in to your preference is super nice. I found that this to be the best upgrade for this bike overall. Now let's talk about tires and wheels. These are going to be 27.5 rims, and these are going to be Kenda tires that are 2.4 inches wide. These are actually mountain bike tires, so they're super grippy. Now these tires are definitely made for off-road, but they can be ridden on-road too. So no matter the terrain, these tires are going to be good to go. Now, we already talked a little bit about the drivetrain on here, where you get a nice wide range 9-speed cassette with the Shimano Q's rear derailleur and shifter. But up front, you get a chainring that is also a narrow wide chainring. Now, what a narrow wide chainring is each tooth goes narrow, wide, narrow, wide. And what that does is that makes sure that your chain doesn't pop off if you're riding in any rough conditions. So there's no need for a chain guide on this bike, because with the narrow wide chain ring, it's gonna hold onto that chain even better than past models. Now, they did install this really nice heavy duty chain stay guard down here, so you don't have to worry about your chain hitting this and chipping your paint. This chain stay guard is gonna protect this area and keep your bike looking nice and new. So back here on the seat stays, they did integrate some taillights that indicate as brake lights and turn signals. This year, they did add in fenders and a rear rack for this bike. So if that's something that you're interested in because you want to use this bike for commuting, you can definitely do that. Here's a look at what this bike would look like with fenders and with the rear rack. I personally like it looking just like this because, like I said, I'm used to how mountain bikes look, and I absolutely love the way that the Summit 2 looks without them. But I can definitely see why it would be super functional if you're going to be commuting to have those fenders and that rear rack. Now, this bike has a torque sensor and a cadence sensor integrated, so you can switch between them on the fly on your ride. And it's super easy to do. You simply hold down the M button, and on the screen, it'll indicate whether you're a cadence or a torque sensor. It's totally up to you. Me personally, I really had a lot of fun riding this with a cadence sensor just because of how powerful this motor is. I've got this in eco mode and I've got it on cadence sensor because I want to feel what the full power is. This bike has a lot of torque. Eco mode is going to be 14 miles an hour. Put it on trail mode. Now you can have a cadence and a torque sensor on this, which is super nice, making it just a little bit more versatile. And Velotric has this brand new screen, which looks absolutely awesome. Trail mode, 21 miles an hour. Now I did go in the app and I actually set this up to basically be able to go to the highest speed that it can. Sport mode, we're cruising now, guys. 24 miles an hour. And then we got boost mode, which I believe is our highest setting. I love this bike. I love mountain bikes, and this bike feels like a mountain bike. 28.5 miles an hour, smooth. But if you're gonna be riding in a group, I highly recommend switching it over to a torque sensor. That way you can kind of ride at a casual pace or pick up the pace anytime you want with just pressure on the pedals. Now, as for comfort, I found that this ride fit seat, the ergonomic grips, the air suspension, and the combination of the tires really made this a super comfortable ride, even out on the road and out here on my backyard trails. Now, when you're talking about actual electronics on this bike, this has a 16.7 amp hour battery that is fully UL certified. Not only is the battery UL certified, the whole entire bike has gone through a UL certification. And you can indicate that by seeing this UL certification sticker down here. That means that this entire bike is fully UL certified, meaning that this thing is 100% safe to be charging in your house or in your office or wherever you're going to be taking this. Now, Velotric claims that on the lowest pedal assist, you can get around 95 miles of range on flat terrain on this. So you can pretty much expect to be able to go out on this all day without having to worry about running out of battery. Now, one of my favorite things on this bike is the rear hub motor. This motor produces an absolute massive amount of torque at 100 Newton meters. That's significantly higher than some of their other models on their other bikes, giving this bike a unique feel when comparing it to their other models. And for me personally, I love the power and the speed that this thing can actually get up to. All right, let's just go ahead and start going. Get up to speed here, see how fast we can get going before we get to the hill. Looks like it's gonna be 25, 26, 27 before we got to the hill. That's probably one of the fastest out there. Not many bikes get up to that speed. This is a big hill, but this is a big motor on this bike. We'll see how the Shimano Q's does when we hit the 19% right here. Put it under load. We're still going 19 miles an hour, guys. 18, 17, 16, 15, 15 and a half. Dude, this bike crushes. This bike absolutely crushes. This does not surprise me one bit because the Summit 1 was a beast. And now this Summit, the Summit 2, whew, it's every bit of a beast. Now, a few last things. This bike is actually set up to hold 440 pounds of payload, and Velotric says that it comes in right around 57 pounds. I put it on the scale, and here's the weight that I actually got on my scale. So overall, if you guys are looking for a super fun, super peppy, mountain bike style looking hybrid bike, I definitely recommend checking out the Summit 2. This is one of my favorite bikes from Velotric. And if you guys are into the mountain bike style vibe, then this is definitely gonna be the e-bike for you. If you guys wanna pick one up, I'll put some links down below. I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys use those links because it does come back and help out this channel at no additional cost to you. But if you guys have any questions on any of these bikes, definitely hit me up in the comments below. And also, let me know, did you ride the Summit 1? Are you excited about the Summit 2? And if you guys are enjoying this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know what to do. Get out there and ride your e-bike.